Hello, and welcome to Pushing 40 on Blitz. I am the Desert Fax because I am just a poor copy at best. Today we are going to continue the American Heavies series, jumping up to Tier 6, where we are going to feature the American Heavy Tank, the M6. I actually have one replay which we're going to go ahead and jump into right now. And I'm going to try a new ranking system. Up to 3 points for offense, 3 for defense, 3 for mobility, and 1 point for the X factor, for whatever reason that is. I'm going to apologize if my voice is a little bit off. I found out in the last 24 hours that I actually have COVID. So I'm spending some time at home, hopefully get a few more videos out. I'm definitely trying to get these things out for the newer players and hit up some of the lower tier tanks, the ones that don't get reviewed as much. Not enough focus. So the M6 is the second heavy in the American tech tree, and I actually quite like it. Then what's funny is that after looking at it, some of its stats are not that impressive on paper. While initially I thought it actually had really good offense, turns out it has one of the lowest DPMs of other heavy tanks in Tier 6. Get a quick shot into this ARL, continue to back up. I do not want to be exposed to all those people. And I see our Cromwell is going toe-to-toe with a victory, so let's go ahead and help him. Yeah. Our enemies already have us up by one tank, so let's go ahead and make a change to that. Not pierced. That must have just slipped right up towards the mantlet or something. Definitely hit something wrong. Now, while the DPM on this tank doesn't feel bad, it actually turns out it is not great. Churchills are known for pumping out damage. Shoot, the KV-2 pumps out more DPM with the good gun. Of course, the ARL-44, probably considered the best heavy tank and one of the best tanks, period, in Tier 6. That's why it gets used for seal clubbing so much. This guy is, I believe, a bot. Just the way he's piloting, he can't get an angle on me there. He should have chosen a direction. But as this account is well under 5,000 battles, it's my free-to-play account. I'm basically revisiting a lot of the tech trees, working my way through it. Kind of get that experience over again. Sorry, I had to mute the mic. Had to cough there. I might need to do that through the videos I produce over the next 2 days. But I will say that the penetration is the second best I've seen. The only one eclipsing it would be the ARL-44. I didn't look at every single tank in Tier 6. And I can't keep doing that because he's going to keep on shooting me. That's definitely a player. He's playing smart. Trying to get out of range of that one. Let's go ahead and get that K2. And now we're down to just 3 enemies left. The Panzer IV's is playing well. I mean, he's doing it right. He's waiting for me, typically, to shoot before he pokes out. Before I can get that shot reloaded, I've got to get this KV-1. Fortunately, it's a Tier 5. I remember when the matchmaker was +2. Man, a Tier 3 against a KV-1, you just... Even like behind it from rear armor, I couldn't penetrate it. It was just horrible. Just getting those shots in, I'm like, I need to take out one of them. I cannot keep fighting at 2 different angles like this. And it's just a matter of time before that third tank shows up. It's another hit. Like, well, let's pull back from both of them. So DPM is low, but the penetration is there. And the DPM isn't horrible, it's just not as high as other tanks. It just consistently pound out damage. Panzer IV finally steps out. He got overconfident, made that misplay. Now I can get back behind this hull, protect myself, take out that KV-1. So now we're down to 1-on-1, but I'm at under 50% health. I will give this tank an offense of 2 out of 3. Because while it doesn't have the DPM, the gun is fairly accurate, even though there are more accurate ones, and I just missed that shot. It fires fast enough. The penetration is there, though, so you're going to pen a lot of your shots, particularly compared to other tanks, definitely compared to mediums and lights. So for the second best penetration of heavies at 160, ARL had 165. That was just pure angle right there. Oh, God. Terrifying. Full health Tog. He should have just charged me. He should have just charged me. There we go. Slipping rounds in. Mobility, on the other hand, while it does not have the highest top speed, it tops out at 35. It has the second highest power to weight ratio. It was highest until I got over to looking at the ARL, and which topped it out by a little bit. But it gets up to speed very quickly. That's one of the things I noticed. I was leaving other tanks behind me until we actually were cruising along at top speed. So it gets up to speed really quickly, and that's really important when you get into little situations like this, where how fast can you just quickly reverse, start moving, get around behind some sort of cover. And that is important. So I actually am going to give it a 2.5 in mobility. For a heavy tank, it's not as plodding. Top speed is not good, but it's not plodding like some of those heavies. It's not a Churchill. You know, it's not a Tog. Not by any means. And for defense, definitely a 3. 3 out of 3. This tank for the tier has some of, if not the best armor for tier 6. When you're looking at it frontally, you've typically just got a strip along the midsection, just a band that you have to hit, and it can be just an absolute nightmare to pen for vehicles that don't have that higher pen. Of course, this has gotten worse with that recent update, but as far as X Factor, there's no X Factor here. It's a heavy tank. It's a good tank. It has a decent common win ratio. Finally take out that Tog. You notice I was using these holes to protect that strip that's easily penned. Trusting in my armor. And this particular battle, 4,100 damage into tier 6. Yes, there were definitely some bots there, but that was a mastery. A Kolobanov, a high caliber, Top Gun, you know, pretty much just everything. We definitely had some players there, gave me a thumbs up, another guy gave me a fire. Well, we had a good game. We had a really good game. And, yeah, KV2 on the enemy team at over 2,000 damage, which again is great damage for tier 6. I'm glad he's gone, or at least from the battle. So it was a good fight. A lot of damage. I was definitely trying. So when we look at 2 for offense, 2.5 on mobility, and 3 points for defense, that gives it an all-around score of 7.5, which is actually really good. I haven't scored other tanks yet with this system, but right off the bat in tier 6, the only thing I can think that it can get higher right off the bat is going to be the Cyborg, because it has 400 more DPM than this tank. 400 more DPM, and it's basically the same tank. So it's just disgusting in how quickly it pumps out damage. I definitely recommend it. It's got over 50% win rate average for players. It's definitely a great tank to learn on. You're not going to suffer from going to the wrong side like you do with Churchills. Again, it doesn't top out as high as some tanks, but it gets that speed quickly. Means it also is going to go uphill more quickly than others. That power to weight ratio really helps. It's a very fairly mobile heavy tank, and again, recommended. So T1 was good. The M6 is really good. Just a fantastic solid tank, a piece of the United States history on top of that, which is why I chose to use this tank for this camo. Red, white, and blue just seemed appropriate. and I enjoy playing it. I played it on my main account again too, just to get a little bit of a feel for it again before I made this video. I definitely recommend this line for new players. So until next time, this is the Desert Facts, wishing you good games, good sportsmanship, and good luck.